Good morning, my beautiful and lovely friends. Today I want to talk about lucky girl syndrome. It's just one of the many fun ways to talk about manifestation and get an understanding of what it is. So while I'm going through my day today, we're going to talk about 11 things that we can be doing to manifest what we want and change our lives. So number one today is romanticizing your life. So does that mean we're going to go frolic in a prairie and pick flowers in a puffy Anne of Green Gables dress? I mean, sure, if that's what does it for you, please, by all means do that. But how I picture romanticizing your life is taking the things that you're doing anyway, the things that are mundane, and just adding a little spice to them. Making yourself a tea and lighting a candle while you're working on a project on your computer. Wearing the damn outfit because you need to get dressed anyway. You might as well put on something cute that makes you feel your best. Why not? So every day I make my bed. It's one of those things that's just kind of a blah experience, but while I'm doing it, I'll put out some flowers and light a candle because I know I'm going to write in my journal after my bed is made, and I'm just kind of setting a beautiful scene for the day. I'm also noticing how pretty my bedding looks in this room and just noticing the tiny little things. I'm picturing walking into my room later in the day and how good that's going to feel to see my bed made, how good it's going to feel to pull down the sheets at night and just have that little piece of my day settled and looking beautiful, and just starts my day off on a positive note. This is some room spray I got when I was in Ireland. Cedarwood, oak moss, amber, and bergamot. It's from a Scottish company, but this smells like heaven. So just the little simple act of adding a little more beauty to an activity that isn't necessarily that pleasurable. Why not? Now when I walk in my room, I'm going to smell that smell, and it's just going to give me this little boost of positive energy. And if we can create little pockets of positive energy throughout our day, those little moments add up to big results over time. So finding joy or adding joy to the small mundane things is definitely something that's a part of lucky girl syndrome. It's a part of manifestation in general and just living a more abundant, happy life. So let's say you got everything you've ever wished and hoped for in your life. You got the relationship, the car, the house, but you're not in the habit of having gratitude and finding joy in those things. I was listening to a Joe Dispenza interview on Lewis Howes. I love those two together. You should listen to all of their wonderful podcasts, but Joe Dispenza was saying he knows a lot of billionaires that are still so unhappy because they've never formed the habit of finding the joy in the small things. They're always wanting more, thinking that that's going to make them happy. But once they get it, they're not in the habit of finding joy and having gratitude in what they already have. So they're never fully fulfilled or happy. So taking joy in the small little things and romanticizing the tiny things in life has made me a lot happier person. And there's little pockets of that throughout the day. Anytime I'm feeling a little bit of dread with any activity, I will figure out a way to make it fun and romanticize it. So doing my dishes the other night, I did not want to do them. I was dreading it. There was a lot of resistance to it. And then I was just like, well, I need to get my dishes done. How can I make this fun? So I put on Bridesmaids, my favorite movie of all time, and just watched that while I was doing the dishes. Super simple way to romanticize your life a little bit and just find the joy in the everyday things that we do. Number two is to write down what you want. Write down your goals, write down your intention for the day, write down what you're grateful for. If you write something down, you're much more likely to achieve it. It's science. No, but seriously, it's neuroscience. It has been proven that if you write down what you want, you're much more likely to achieve it. Every morning I've been doing morning pages. So after I make my bed, light my candles, I usually make a coffee, and then I'll sit down and write 3 pages. First page is monkey mind, just get out on the page whatever is in my head. Second page is writing about what I want. And third page is writing what I'm grateful for. So you don't have to write a full 3 pages, but I'm doing morning pages from The Artist's Way. And I'm actually taking myself on a little artist date today. That's a weekly thing I do to kind of just tap into my creativity, and it's been really fun. So I'm gonna take you guys with me on that later. But yes, writing things down is always so helpful for me. I've gone through phases where I get out of the habit of writing and doing my morning pages, and I notice those times in my life I'm much more disconnected, I'm much less happy and less creative. So highly recommend writing writing stuff down. Since I've been talking about my journal writing, quickly I wanted to mention number 3. Something we can do to embody lucky girl syndrome is to create an intention for your life, for your day, for your next 5 minutes, for the next 5 years. What we focus on, we feel and we attract, right? It's not just woo-hoo witchcraftery, it is neuroscience. When you set an intention, it activates your reticular activating system. Your inner self-talk creates your outer experience. So for example, I notice 1s and 4s all of the time because my numbers are 1s and 0s, and then my friend Andy's numbers are 4s. So I always see them together, and then I'll text him and be like, oh, it's 11:44. Or do you ever notice when you buy a new car, all of a sudden you notice that same car everywhere? Like when I bought my Sprinter van, all of a sudden I was noticing every single Sprinter van. Whatever your intentions are and whatever you put your attention on is what you're going to attract. And so when you're focusing on things you don't want, you tend to attract them anyway. If I say, don't think of an elephant, what are you picturing in your head? You're picturing the elephant. So we have to state things in the positive, set intentions on what it is we want rather than focusing on what we do not want. So for example, I wrote today what I want in a partner. I'll read some of it here. It's a man of character and great morals, a man who feels safe and who feels like home, a man I can laugh with and flirt and snuggle with, a positive man who is an amazing husband, a man who is self-aware, who can have deep conversations, a man who doesn't punch down, but knows that all people are worthy, a spiritual man, a lovable man, a curious, honest, and genuine man. And then I wrote, what type of woman would I have to be to attract this type of person? And I'm setting my full attention on just being that every day. You know, we all have our moments, we all have our setbacks, we all have our difficult times, but if I every morning set my intention on being that woman, I'll just get real vulnerable here. I'll read what I wrote, the type of woman I would have to be to attract that type of man. I would have to be a genuine, positive woman, a confident and gorgeous woman, a creative and compassionate woman, someone who has forgiven and let go of her trauma. That's something I've been working on because I have a lot of ruminations around past trauma and I have a lot of energy toward that, and I'm working on letting go of that energy because it has a lot of power over me and it's living rent-free in my mind. So that is something that I will have to set free. And something I've been doing is picturing people who have done horrible things. I picture them with a mullet and buck teeth and just like really goofy looking. And instead of the words that they have said to me, all they say is dark, 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 dark. I'm kind of going back to these experiences and creating a new memory around them that has zero charge, positive or negative. It's just a very neutral experience in my life. And I'm letting that person walk out of my life, dark, 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 and looking silly and stupid. And it's something I can laugh at rather than have anger and frustration toward. So I'm actively not letting people live rent-free in my mind anymore. And it's easier said than done. But anytime a rumination comes in, I go back to the experience and I picture them in this goofy, like hillbilly manner and just let them walk off and get very, very, very small in my experience. Like they're still there. It's still something that I lived, but I'm reframing the experience. So it's very, very small in my present consciousness. That is something I've been working on. This is really vulnerable for me. So thank you for letting me share this with you. But so to attract that man that I want, I would have to be a woman who lights up others and champions those around her. A woman who is fun, loving, nurturing, and a lovely mother. One who teaches her children to enjoy music, nature, learning, reading, growing. One who regulates and manages her own emotions and who leads with love and curiosity. One who leads by example. One who is just as curious about learning who her children are as she is interested in teaching them how the world works. A woman who encourages them to create, play, love, grow, learn, and enjoy the very smallest of things. One who holds them when they are struggling. One who allows them to be their truest and most authentic selves. A woman of great care and consistency, yet someone who will throw a Tuesday dance party for nothing more than the joy of it. Someone who makes meals from scratch and includes them in the process. A woman who takes care of both her health and appearance and who brings her best to the table every day. She knows when she needs rest and pampering. By her example, she teaches their children how to care for themselves. Her kids feel feels safe, open, loved in her presence. She provides a balanced and healthy meals with occasional sweet treats and snacks. She creates a beautiful world for her family and all of those who are in her presence. So that is kind of my intention for my future relationship, future children, but something new that I'm doing, I've done it for the past 4 or 5 days, is I'm setting a daily intention. So here, let me show you. So you guys know I made this dopamine menu a couple weeks ago. Basically, the goal is to do activities that are healthy for your brain, but then every day I write out a new intention. So today I am living as if I'm already that woman I just described in my journal. So living as if is my little intention for the day. Every time I walk by my hallway, I see that live as if. Let's see, what was yesterday's? Yesterday's intention was, it was a blue day. Enjoy the process. I put together some furniture yesterday and I noticed myself getting really frustrated with the process. But then I was like, how can I make this fun? So I put on that Joe Dispenza and Lewis Howes podcast that I was talking about, and it really settled my heart and actually made it easier for me to put together the furniture I was putting together. When you're in that positive energy, stuff just flows so much better. You know, focusing where we want to go. When I go on my morning walk, the first step I take out of the door, I picture stepping on the right path. I just have full faith that wherever my day takes me, it's for my greater good. When I set that intention in the morning, that first step is going to lead me toward all of these things that I want. And it feels good. So right now I have some errands to run. That's kind of a blah activity for me. So I'm gonna make myself a nice yummy drink. I'm making an electrolytes drink to bring. And I'm also gonna take myself on a little mini date when I'm out and about. I just walked into my room to put on my shoes and I smelled that beautiful Scottish room spray. It put me in this positive energy. It's just, we're linking things in our brain to have more positivity. So I associated that smell and spraying that this morning with beauty, positivity. And I walked in here and smelled that and I'm like, oh, that smells so good. Also, that can happen negatively. So I used to watch true crime when I would crochet. And then every time I would crochet, I would be reminded of specific scenes from the true crime shows that I would watch. And it just gave me this icky feeling after a while. I don't want that in my subconscious. So I stopped watching true crime altogether and started watching more uplifting and positive things while I was crocheting. I didn't want to physically stitch true crime into my garments. That's just a small thing too. Like, it's crazy how our brains are wired that way. I would start stitching and then be reminded of a literal Jeffrey Dahmer true crime show I had watched. It's crazy how reliant our brains are on pattern recognition. I don't know, I'm just all about rewiring my brain for more happiness, more positivity lately. So, you know, I'm an adult. Obviously, I can emotionally handle a true crime show or something that is a little more deep and dark, but it was just crazy to me that I had now associated that with crochet, and I wanted to change that, definitely. So I have a few errands to run. I need to grab a few things at the store. I have to stop at the post office because one of you sent me a package. So I'm gonna go snag that really quick and we'll chat on the way. It'll be a great time. I also might call my brothers. I haven't talked to them in a while, so doing little bitty things to enjoy the process a little bit more. Okay, so number 4 is to create small adventures out of whatever you're doing. So when I used to nanny, we had a long drive to her gymnastics class and we would make an adventure out of it. We'd have conversations, I'd ask her lots of questions and just take that time to get to know her a little better, but I would also let her hold my iPod and she got to choose the music and we got to jam out on the way to gymnastics. So just creating little small adventures out of something that is super boring. Driving 40 minutes in LA traffic and back is not the most exciting adventure. But today I have errands to run, so I'm gonna stop at a cute little cafe and get a coffee, maybe grab some lunch. I'm gonna go to Feel Good Cafe. It's right by the post office that I'm stopping at to grab my little nifty gifty I got from one of you guys. So yeah, making just a little adventure out of my errands today. Okay, adventure number 1, I got a package. It's either Alicia or Alicia. Like, is it like Alicia Silverstone or Alicia Keys? Which one? Alicia. Oh, so cute. All right, so lately I've been all about encouraging people to be more creative, and Alicia sent me, I'm so sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Alicia sent me her homemade stickers. I'm so excited. Look how cute these are. She made these. How do you make stickers? What device did you use to make these stickers? There's a little trailer. Cute. So when I do my journaling in the morning, I add stickers to my journal, and I am going to use these up. These are all personalized. We have Where's a Starbucks? We have Mac, Sebastian, Winona, Kevin. Oh my gosh, these are so cute. Apocalypse socks. Seriously, this is the sweetest thing. It's so personalized. Oh my gosh, cute. Oh, she even got Fanny in there. How fun. Oh my God, this is hilarious. This is hilarious. Pocket coffee. Gotta love a pocket coffee. Look at these cute little chairs and instruments, typewriter, sewing machine. It's like she gets me. She gets me. Now I have to know how to make your own stickers. I have to know. I see a bowl of veggies and a treadmill. And then she also sent me all these cute little flowers, just little crafty things. I love it. A little handmade gift from Alicia. Thank you so much. That was really sweet. Let's go continue our adventure. And I'm gonna go to Feel Love Cafe. All right, well, after all of that, my phone died before I got to Feel Love Cafe, so I did not get to film it, but that does bring me to the number 5 practice that we can do to manifest in our lives, and that is reframing. So anytime you go through a hardship or something doesn't pan out the way you expected, a lucky girl would see that as a detour rather than the end-all be-all. Nothing is working out for me. A lucky girl knows it's all working out for her, even the more difficult things in life, whether it's something that you need to grow from or you need to switch directions. For example, let's say you have to move to a new city and you don't want to move to a new city, but what if that new city has the person that you've been asking for your whole entire life? Sometimes life gives us detours so we can get the things we've been wanting and asking for. So my camera dying was a little bit of a hardship. I was bummed because I was like, ooh, I want to film this pretty cafe and get my pretty latte and sit down and write. And I want to share that with you guys. But my little reframe is maybe I needed to just sit in that moment by myself and not be on camera, not worry about filming, but actually enjoy the experience, actually be more present in the moment. It all works out for us eventually, you know? Also, when you have adversity and you get through it, it gives you confidence. It gives you resilience. It allows you to know that you can do difficult things. You can get through hard times. And that's where a massive amount of growth happens. We need those hard times to grow, to figure out what our boundaries are, to figure out what we want. You know, the contrast lets us know what we don't want so we can focus our ship and point our sails to the things that we do want. A relationship might not work out for you and it might be so painful in the moment, but I believe there's gonna be that day down the line when, like, none of my relationships have been my forever relationship. Doesn't mean they weren't meant to happen and they weren't beautiful in their own way, and I learned a lot from them. But I believe there's gonna be this moment where I hold my baby in my arms and I'll know that is why none of the past relationships worked out. I know I'm going to have that moment. I know that's going to happen, but in the moment, breakups are so incredibly hard. You know, they're so difficult and painful, but I just have faith that things are working out in my favor and I'm being guided toward the things that I absolutely want in life. So reframing your hardships for growth and learning, ultimately they are serving a purpose for you. Right now, I'm gonna make a little hibiscus tea. I have a big edit to do, so I'm going to add a little enjoyment to that process. All right, number 6, summer's almost over, so I love making a pot of hibiscus iced tea. It's my favorite thing in the summer. I'm wanting to get into the fall vibes, but I just really want to savor the little bit of summer we have left. It is extremely hot outside, and I've found myself lately just like waiting for the next season. Oh my gosh, when is it gonna be fall? I can't wait for it to be fall. But we always want it when it's gone, you know, when summer's gone and you're freezing, you're like, oh, I can't wait for summer. So I'm just taking a moment to savor summer. And one of my favorite things about summer, which is my hibiscus iced tea. And that brings us to number 6, things that lucky girls do, or just people who manifest cool shit, you know, that kind of thing. They savor the mundane. They savor the ordinary things. They stop and smell the roses. They go dance in the rain and enjoy watching the birds on their morning walk. Just the little ordinary things, like taking pleasure in them, is so important. Tune into your senses and notice all the beauty that is around. There's always something beautiful happening around you, no matter what situation you're in. As I'm walking through my hallway, I notice my little plants. I say hello to them and I just appreciate them for a split second. And then I put all these little crystals up so they make rainbows on my walls, and just taking a quick moment when I'm walking through my house to enjoy the little things makes a huge difference. It's all about joy. How can you walk past this and not feel some sort of joy of these beautiful plants growing? Maybe that's not your thing, but it's definitely something that brings me joy. So it's different for everybody, and you have to find out what that is for you. But look at little rainbows on the wall. I see you down there. I've also been creating spaces that I absolutely love. I want every space that I walk into in my house to feel good and feel like a little hug from baby Jesus. Yes, yes, yes. It's easy to thank God for all of the beautiful things that you have in your life, and you should. But it wasn't until very recently, like the last 6 months or so, that I have said, thank God for all of my struggles. Thank God for everything I've been through, that I've made it and proved to myself time and time again, I can get through it. I can get onto the other side and things will pan out eventually. You know, I've gone through some hard stuff. I've gotten through that and then gone through more hard stuff. I've gotten through that. And it just gives me this sense of confidence in myself that I can do the hard shit, you know? I thank God for all my blessings and thank God for everything. I thank God for everything. Anytime I've gone through hard things, it makes me a more empathetic person toward others, makes me appreciate what I do have, like things that I maybe took for granted before. Any health struggle I've gone through made me appreciate my beautiful body and not just look at myself as like something that was performative and something that was for others to enjoy, and made it something that I enjoy. I want to enjoy how I feel in my body, and I feel so much gratitude for feeling good and having energy, because I know what it's like to not have that. And if you've ever gone through a health struggle, and my health struggles were nothing, were very minuscule compared to a lot of people's, but if you've gone through a health struggle, it does make you appreciate your body so much. Appreciating the hard things just brings a whole new perspective. Okay, so lucky girl syndrome is not something I came up with. It's something I've read a lot about, and it matches with everything else I've read about manifestation, but something I have come up with that I feel like helps me through life so much. It kind of piggybacks on the reframing thing, but finding humor in the silliest things in life. Like my midnight cheese brings me so much joy and so many giggles. Like I love being super goofy, and anytime shit goes down, if I can make a joke about it, that is immediately a reframe. If you can laugh about something, that has helped me cope so much in life. And sometimes it's not the best coping mechanism, but I do feel like that's worth mentioning, so it gets its own bullet point. Laughter is truly the best medicine. That should have been my number 1. We need so much more laughter in this world. I made a mission statement a couple weeks ago, and it was about bringing this togetherness into the world, but also I just want to make people laugh. Like if I can bring one laugh to someone's day, I don't know, that just makes me feel so connected and so in service to the greater good. So if we can laugh at our silly antics and habits, I think we'll all just be a lot happier. Really. I'm not even joking, but for today's workout, I'm just gonna blast music and dance around my house. Probably because I wrote in my journal this morning that I wanted to just dance around the house for no reason on a Tuesday afternoon. I think that's why. I was like, ooh, I should do that today. So I'm gonna. But before I work out, let's talk about number 8. It is living as if you're already the person that you wanna be. So Joe Dispenza talks about this a lot. It's not just about thinking about the things you want and reiterating it over and over. over. You actually need to be living as if you're already that person, feeling the emotions of what it feels like to be that person. The body doesn't know the difference between what you're thinking and what you're actually experiencing. Show up today, right now, as the woman or man that you want to be. What would they do first thing in the morning? How would they walk, talk? How would they dress? The person I want to be is put together and radiates a positive energy in every interaction. I always want people to feel better after having talked to me, not in an ego sort of way, but just in a connected, greater good sort of way. Like, I want to be that bright force in the world, and I feel like that type of energy rubs off on people. If you had the body of your dreams, how would you talk to yourself when you look in the mirror? This one I always know helps. If I have gained weight in the past and felt really bad about my body, and the times when I was waiting for the end result to feel good were the times I never made any progress. But the other times when I started feeling good in the body I was in, started talking to myself like someone who loves their body, when I started dressing and feeling good at whatever weight I was at, I was more inspired to work out and fuel my body with healthy foods because I was in this positive energy, this energy of abundance. So if you can embody the body that you want to have, what type of person would you be? What would you say to yourself when you look in the mirror? You would say positive things. You'd be like, dang girl, you're looking good. And this isn't about lying to ourselves, but whatever your weight you're at right now, dress the best that you can, look and feel your best that you can right now, today. I know when I have negative inner self-talk and I'm like, ugh, you're looking gross today, or ugh, you have too much weight here, or whatever it is. Those are the times I slip into binge eating and laying in bed watching TV and just like acting a slob. So I have gone through both. I have been in both energies, and that's why I feel like I can talk about it, because I know exactly what it's like when I'm in the negative self-talk energy and when I'm in the positive self-talk energy. It's actually pretty easy to lose the weight because it's not this like struggle. You're not struggling to lose the weight and not seeing results and not feeling good. You're waiting for an end result to feel good when you need to start feeling good now. Start loving your body where it's at. It has done so much for you. Love your sweet, beautiful body, no matter where you're at. And some people don't want to have an extremely fit body, and that's not going to be your goal, and that is totally fine too. But I'm just talking about a general self-love. I haven't been getting my workouts in as much as I want to, and some of my clothes aren't fitting right now. And when I think about the lack there, then I kind of gravitate toward wanting to like eat crappy and like, oh, what's the point? I've done all this work and da da da. But instead, I laid out the outfit that I want to wear in a week or two because I don't have that much to lose, but I do want to fit into this certain outfit. I just put it out front and center. So when I walk into my closet here, it's probably there right now. This outfit right here, it's a high-waisted number. It doesn't have much coverage up top, as you can see. It's so cute. It's way classier than it looks on the hanger. It's got this high-waisted ruffle pant. And when I set that out, it is just like, oh, yay, I remember why I'm gonna get my workout in today. I remember why I'm gonna eat healthy today. Just getting into the positive energy of like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that at the end of the week and it's gonna be great. Then it's not a struggle to eat healthy. It's not a struggle to exercise. We have to get into this good, positive energy, and please be kind to your beautiful bodies. It's hard to do in the moment, I understand. It really, really is. But if you start living as if you're the person that you want to be, once you become that person, it will just feel natural and you'll have all this beautiful energy. I've heard a lot of cases of people losing weight really, really fast, like on Ozempic or something, but they still have this negative inner self-talk and then they just gain all the weight back because they've never learned to appreciate and love their body. Maybe their body looks the way they wanted it to look, but they're not in this habit of loving themselves. It really is a habit. So yeah, if you were the person you wanted to be, how would you show up right now, today in your life? And that leads me to number 9, which is practicing gratitude. Everyone talks about practicing gratitude and it's kind of redundant, but I'm gonna add a little bit of spice to it today. It's not just writing down the 3 things you're grateful for, but how do you show your gratitude? I have so much gratitude for this apartment, and so I take time to keep it clean and looking beautiful and feeling good. Taking that time and energy and care is a form of gratitude. For instance, I don't have the car of my dreams right now. I want a different car, but how can I enjoy my car to the fullest right now until I get the car of my dreams? So this week for my daily creative, I'm going into my car and I'm going to put in a cute little garbage can and clean up all the mess and put up a cute macrame thing that I used to have in there. I'm just gonna make it something I absolutely love and have so much gratitude for the car I have, even though, you know, I'm wanting to manifest something better. If you can't have gratitude for what you have now, it's really going to be hard to have gratitude for the things you get that you've always wanted. So also in any average day, if you focus on what is working rather than what isn't, it just puts you in a whole new reality. We can always look around and find something that's not working. Sometimes it's good to acknowledge those things so you can change it if it's something you can change. But I'm being really intentional with just trying to see the beauty all around and create beauty all around. Every room in my house I love, except for the entryway and the garage. That's a story for another time. But even my hallways, I adore my hallways. I adore my music room. And this is a form of gratitude for having this beautiful apartment, is taking care of it and adding so much love and joy to every single space in this apartment. Is just like my way of saying thank you. Thank you for this beautiful space. So now someday I would love to own my own house. And I think to myself, well, how would I take care of my house if I had the house of my dreams? I would not be leaving dishes in the sink. I would not be just throwing my clothes randomly on the floor. I would be taking care of my house. At least I think I would be. So if you get into the practice of taking care of things, that is a form of gratitude for sure. And I am just so grateful for this apartment. I love it. I love every inch of it. I'm also grateful that I lived in a van. That has given me such an appreciation for the small things, like just being able to take a bath. I sit in my bath and I remember those nights that I would have given anything to sit in a bathtub when I was traveling full time. And it just gives me a bigger appreciation for what I have. So I'm so thankful for that struggle in van life, or those things that I missed out on, because it really makes me savor those tiny little things every day. In. That feels so good. I'm trying to learn how to shuffle. It just looks fun. So I mixed that in with a little like Tracy Anderson circa 2008. And then I just kind of did whatever felt good for my body. Now I'm gonna do like a 10-minute stretch and cool down. This is something I need to reframe because I often skip this part, but it is so beneficial to stretch for every aspect of your body. The cool down aspect is important, but just like actually stretching helps get trapped energies and trauma out of your body, even trapped toxins and stuff. Think of like a stagnant pond as opposed to a river. So we want the body flowing. We want to be doing our stretches. This video is as much about reminding myself of these things as it is about sharing these things, because like we can know all of this stuff, but if we don't practice it, it doesn't matter. So I just wanted to share it with you all because these tips are things that have helped me significantly when I do them. Even if you want to just dance around your house to slow music because it feels good and it's fun and it's not really a workout, please do it. I'm in such a high vibe energy right now. It feels good. Oh man, is it pretty out here. Look at this bike path. Happy little clouds. So number 10, this is the one I struggle with the absolute most, and it is detachment. Oftentimes I get into this mode where I have to force things and struggle and grind and work so hard to try and achieve the outcome I want. And then I never get there. I get burnt out. I'm in a struggle energy the whole time. Detachment allows things to flow in. You set your intention, you put out there what you want, and then you trust in the universe. You trust God will give it to you. When you're in fear and lack, then you feel like you have to work so hard to get something, and the process can feel arduous. That's why I'm focusing on creativity, because being more in that state of flow is just putting me in a better energy overall and will help me attract the things that I want, as well as live a happy life day to day. It's not that we won't have to do hard things. It's not that we won't have challenges or days that we need to push ourselves. But I think the important distinction is that you want to operate from and make decisions from a place of regulated nervous system, positive energy. We don't want to make decisions when we're in that lack mentality or in fear. We want to reset the nervous system and get into a better vibe before making the phone call, before having the conversation. You want to be centered before you dive into anything or make any big life decisions. So regulating my nervous system on a daily basis is really important. When you're in alignment and you can kind of detach from the outcome and just trust that you're guided, trust that you're on the right path, trust that things are working out for you, miracles tend to show up. At least that's how it's worked for me. I still have days where I'm trying to force something or super frustrated about something, and then my whole day seems to kind of follow suit. If I wake up and I start watching the news right away and then start feeling bad about something, that's going to affect my physiology. My body's not going to feel as good. Doesn't mean those things out there don't exist. It just means that that's not our focus. There are so many things happening in the world right now that I feel like are out of my control, but I'm focusing on the end goal. The end goal is togetherness, so I'm operating from that lens. So yeah, if we can detach from the outcome and get into a beautiful energy and let life flow, let things come to you, trust in the timing, trust in the process, rather than trying to force things to happen. I think it comes from my sports background, where the harder you work, the better results you get. And you just have to dig deep, dig in, and that's a really masculine energy to be in. So I'm trying to just step into the feminine and be my beautiful self and share what I have to share with the world. And I trust that the things that are meant for me will come my way, and the things that aren't will fall away as well. Oh, hello, love. It's tea 30. Heading upstairs for an edit. Of course, I made a tea. I'm making a little short for my daily creative. It's pretty much 100% voiceover, so I've been doing it upstairs in my bedroom because it's the furthest away from Fanny, and I want my voiceover to sound good. I have a bubble in my throat. Oh my god, I hate when I get a bubble in my throat. But before I hop into my edit, I wanted to talk about number 11, which is surrounding yourself with people who are positive. Not that people can't complain about their bad day, but people who generally support you in being your most authentic self, people who see you, who want to see the good in you, and just have positive wishes and hopes and dreams for you, and someone who you can talk to on the harder days. I've noticed when I started setting boundaries with the people in my life, like not allowing certain people in my life who don't respect my boundaries or who say hurtful things or degrading things, and just kind of let those people fade away, give them buck teeth and a mullet and suspenders and maybe a Fu Manchu. That could be fun. Just let those people be who they are. Don't try and change them. Don't try and change your relationship. Just let it be and let them float away. And I have noticed once I started doing that, the most beautiful, genuine people have shown up for me in my life. They have shown up, given me all sorts of encouragement where I need it, believe in me and my abilities and my dreams. And the more I believe in myself, the more I attract those type of people. So make sure you have people around you who have your best interest at heart and who want to lift you up. That's about it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you made it this far in the video, write a Lucky Charm emoji down in the comments. I don't know if there's like a 4-leaf clover, but put a clover down in the comments below and I'll write you back. And I hope you got something out of this today. I just needed the reminder and thought that these were valuable things to share. I'm not perfect at it. We reach a new level, right? And then there's what's next? What's the next level? But being content in the meantime, I think is really important. Being happy with wherever you're at right now brings more abundance in. So I'm wishing a lot of abundance for you. And if you have any neuroscience podcasts that I should listen to, let me know in the comments below. But I also noticed too, for me, like, sitting and meditating is great. I get just as much out of my journal writing in the morning. I get just as much out of a positivity walk where I step out of my door and just picture myself walking on the path of most abundance, and then on my walk appreciating the things around me. I've been picturing walking back to the car of my dreams, which is a Jeep Wrangler, like the sporty one, 4-door. I love those Jeeps. So I'm picturing myself getting back from my walk and then seeing my Jeep as I walk home. But also in the meantime, really appreciating the car that I do have. Like I said, I'm gonna deck that out later in the week and I hope you'll join me for that. Make sure you're subscribed and we'll see you next time.